Anders, anything that really jumps out at you from this event compared to other Set Roulette events?
Um, there was the fact that there was no clear level zero deck. There was no obvious starting point.
Yeah.
Yes, the band deck looks strong, but it was not where, all right, I need to build the band deck and then find things that can beat the band deck. No, it was just, all right, that kind of builds itself, but there are still so many other powerful options to explore.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
for me it was that even the decks that kind of built themselves, there's still, five or six different ways to make them come to life. And, do I go for the Eldrazi or do I go for the dragons at the top end? Or how many Kalidas do I want to play? And even all of these decks, even the red black deck today, that's been successful, we've seen built in multiple different ways.
yep, certainly. Uh, so many ways to cut the cake here. We have had Kaiser's and Fate of Black finding each other now, finally. So let's look at our red black mirror. Um, and again, two very different builds. Um,
What are some of the differences we're looking at here?
yeah, so Kaitis has access to Dragonlord Kolaghan and has this Haven of the Spirit. Oh, Haven of Spirit Dragon land to rebuy some of the dragons. Where uh, in Fates of Black has more discard spells, as he talked about um, in our interview. Let me see. Fates of Black also has two more lands, interestingly. Um, I have to rerun it. What is that? Undead Gladiator is a card that Kaitas have access to,
That's
where
an
it
that's an old throwback there.
yeah we're yet to see it, but it's one black black eighth, and then it's the 3/1, and it has cycling for one and a black, and then for one and a black, you can discard a card and return it from your graveyard to your hand. You can only activate that ability during your upkeep.
Yeah, it
That
basically gives all of the cards in your deck cycling
yeah, with some hoops, but
with
yes,
with some hoops. But this was a card that I don't think it ever really got over the hump, but certainly some people were really trying to make this work way back in the days when it was first released. And I played it a couple of the black white cycling shells that I tried early in this format. Astral Slide um, was kind of my starting place for this format, and sadly, it doesn't look like anybody got it all the way over the hump. But quite a big board state we're seeing here from Fade to Black, as Siathos takes 9 on this attack.
yeah, Kaiser's taking 9 after Face of Black just doing exactly what you want to be doing in this matchup, I think. Kaiser's played a turn 2 Mind Stone. It was immediately answered by Fate to Black, Kolagan commanding it, discard a card, destroy a Mind Stone. Then Fate to Black could untap, play Thought Knot Seer, take your Thought Knot Seer, following up Reality Smasher. Tough, tough sell.
Yeah, the Kolagon's command advantage here, definitely going Fade to Black's way, and that creating some major tempo swings in this game where we're casting 4 and 5 drops.
Yeah, I think the main difference between the decks is that Fate to Black has not touched any dragons in his deck, whereas Kaitos have access to Dragon Lord Kolaghan and 4 Thunderbreak Regent
Mm-hmm.
with 2 Fallsong Invocations as a sort of semi payoff.
So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, where, even though they're on very similar shells, Fade to Black's gone the Eldrazi route, Siathos has gone the dragon route, and they both have kind of advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, I mean, uh, Kaitos actually have uh, access to 4 Thundersea and 4 Reality Smasher, and Fate to Black have 3 Reality Smasher and 4 Thought Seers. So that's, I think, The main thing is the discard spells, and the removal suite is a bit different. Where Fade to Black has access to Roast and Distress, where Kaisers have Dead Gone and Falsong Invocation. Is the main difference, and then the land count. 24 lands for Kaitos, 26 for Fade to Black. You cannot be missing land drops
No.
as this kind of deck.
Well, we
Is what Fade to Black seems to be thinking.
we've looked a lot at Fade to Black's deck, so I've got Sieto's deck pulled up here. And is there anything in the sideboard here that you think we saw these Banefires come in against the red green decks?
I haven't given so much. I think Kalitas, while being a good card, just quickly gets outclassed in what's going on here.
Yeah.
I think it will very quickly devolve down to a race. Given that, I kind of want to see Eldrazi Obligator make an appearance here. I think that will be a big one. Or it could be a big one. It could also just be completely irrelevant, but it can generate some big swings. So I kind of want to see that. And maybe the Banefire to finish it off. But yeah, it seems simple enough to replace the 2 Dead Guns for 2 Eldrazi Obligator. And then call it a day. I can also see Blackmail make an appearance, but yeah, Blackmail is Blackmail. It's not the coolest of discard spells. Let me
We're seeing kind of a familiar start in this format for those of us who've been playing it for the last 2 weeks, where players are just kind of playing out tap lands, playing out Mind Stones, attacking each other's mana bases, just very slowly getting up to Eldrazi range, where then we can start deploying these heavy hitters. But we've seen twice now Kolaghan's Command hitting Mind Stone. One of the reasons that Kolaghan's Command is so great in this format is that it is probably the best way to destroy a Mind Stone without having to dedicate full slots to your deck against all the non-Mind Stone decks.
Yeah, that is certainly one of the things that pull Kolaghan's Command even further ahead. We see Thunderbreak Regent from Kaitos and Thought-Knot Seer from Fade to Black. Interesting enough, a Dead Gun was discarded to the Kolaghan's Command, so Kaitos do not agree with me. He still wants a Dead Gun post-board. There's also an Incinerate that could be taken out there. They're probably even worse, so yeah.
Maybe that signals that Gone is the more important card, actually, than Dead.
Yeah, it's not how it usually goes with this card, but it is something. I remember back in, like, when I played Legacy, after Senses Divining Stuff was banned, but before Deadrise Shaman was, where you actually played Dead Gun in your 4-color grindy control deck, because sure, yeah, you can use Dead to kill out the opposing Deadrise Shaman, but Gun had value as one of the few answers you could play to Merit Light.
Yeah. Any kind of split card that has this utility value, I think that's why you're seeing, the ability to kill a mana elf and the ability to deal with a Reality Smasher when what you're most worried about is who's going to count to 20 fastest.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, I think we might have see that some Incinerates are gone for the Eldrazi Obligator. I just really want to see Eldrazi Obligator. I don't care much what has been cut, because I think it's gonna be not completely 2 ships passing in the night. There's plenty of removal. There's plenty of ways to jockey for position, but it is going to be
It does seem like the kind of card that's really sets you up for this kind of a matchup.
Okay, Kaitos have decided that Kalitas is worth it post board, possibly as a possibly just because gaining those 3 life can matter.
I like Kalitas. If you're in a situation where Eldrazi are trading, it very quickly becomes bigger than even Reality Smasher, and makes attacking, alpha striking completely unprofitable. It's just kind of annoying to deal with. And Fade to Black agrees by roasting it.
Yeah. But now we just see these two bullies run past each other.
Yep, we're just gonna for each other until one of us is dead.
Yep.
As predicted,
Yep.
we continue to attack for 4. Now the question starts to be who can break serve here, who can stop the other player's creature, with a Thought-Knot Seer of my own. The Thunderbreak region is kind of a bit of a tiebreaker here in that it has flying and is hard to deal with. Foul Tongue Invitation is great here.
Yeah.
Drawing your card, getting rid of the 4/4, breaking serve as I mentioned, and now gaining some life. Seathos at 19 against Fade to Black's 12, and just trading damage isn't going to cut it anymore.
Yeah, Fade to Black needs something to retake the serve, or break it back, or however you want to call it. Kalitas.
It's a start. It does kind of help mitigate
That is
the
what you
life
needed.
loss, but yeah,
You needed that turn where you play Kalitas and kill a creature, get the zombie. Now it's protected from the next Foul Tongue Invocation, and truthfully, Kai just doesn't have anything that kills Kalitas. Not cleanly.
So then, with Kalita, now a Chandra this turn does it.
Yes.
And beyond that, now you're in a race situation. Now, I will say Gone is kind of a temporary solution that deals with the lifelink in a nice way.
Yeah.
So there still is some play here and some ways for Seathos to maneuver the match to be favorable. I mean, that Kolaghan's command adds some value because it keeps Kalitas from getting out of hand by too much. Allows future Chandras to still be an answer. Allows for potentially some trading with Thought-Knot Seers, Dark Dwellers, etc. But it's not the clean answer you maybe want to Kalitas either.
No, but Kolaghan. Oh, okay. Kolaghan's command, killing the zombies, getting your own Kalitas back, and then Foul Tongue Invocationing in the opponent's Kalitas.
So I love this. We're just seeing like a slugfest.
Yeah.
Huge monster, kill your huge monster. Oh yeah, huge monster of my own, kill your huge monster. And we just go back and forth until we're dead.
Yeah.
Distress to put Seathos down to Hellbent, and now Fade to Black with 2 cards extra in hand and a Mind Stone to sacrifice.
Yeah, so
we're in a top deck war. Spawning
Fade to
Pool
Black is a
is a very slow way to answer this.
Yeah, that is. It's not going to cut it.
It's not what you're really hoping to do, especially when you're dealing yourself a damage with Sulfur Springs every time.
I mean, he's ahead on life. It's fine. Like if he had a button that just say, pay 1 life, target opponent loses 1 life, that would definitely be. He would press that button 9 times and be done with it.
Yeah, Spawning Pool not quite at that level though. So it's
not
gonna. If Spawning Pool deals 9 points of damage, I'll be shocked. But dealing 1 point of damage, pretty relevant when all the creatures have 4 power. But here we see the first time that there is a threat and no clear answer coming from Seathos, because we've spent all of our removal, we're hellbent, and Reality Smasher is going to take something significant because you have to discard a card to target it.
Yeah. And
Trample stops the Spawning Pool as well.
Yeah, and there's only 2 Foul Tongue Invocations in the deck, and they're gone. So the
So we're
clean
looking for
answer,
a reality smasher of our own here. Maybe a Dragon Lord Kolagon.
you know what we're looking for? We're
Go
looking
on.
for Eldrazi Obligator. I mean, that would just cleanly end this on the spot.
Spawning Pool now trading 1 damage for 5, but I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it is what you can do, then sure.
Well, I don't think you activate Spawning Pool if you have better choices. But this Chandra, if that's not the end of the game, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
We still have an Eldrazi Obligator still does end the game in Seathos' favor,
yes,
to your point, but I think it's only that.
it is only that. Yeah. All right. Heart of the cards. No, 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 no. Okay, I was just like, this isn't happening. Yeah, well, how do we want to cut it? Chandra -4 attack with Reality Smasher, Chandra plus attack with Reality Smasher and multiple creatures. I don't know. You figure it out.
Yeah, we're dead in a lot of ways here, and it's just a matter of clicking the buttons until we are in sideboarding again.
Yeah. No, no more sideboarding. Fate to Black 1-2 to 0, and it's our first finalist.
Very nice.
And
So we're gonna switch over and take a look at our other match, assuming it's still going on. Let's
it
see.
is not. It is done. And
So
the
what is our
winner.
what's our result? What are we looking at?
I don't have the report, and I can't find the other match.
Well, while you look at
Oh,
that,
sorry.
why don't we take a look at the winner of
I
our screenshot challenge?
I found the other match. They're just going. They're just starting a game. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
let's.
Well, no, then let's definitely watch the match that's happening. That's we will take a look, but
So Ben White's has gone to 6 cards. Leads off with a Treetop Village.
so we have the Dragonfall, kind of big green red ramp deck against the low to the ground Bant deck that is everything but Coco.
Yes. Okay, this cannot be what Ben White's wanted to do. Turn 1 Treetop Village, turn 2 Birds of Paradise. Being really feeling the weight of these tap lands.
Ben in no real need to go extremely fast at the moment.
True. Not under a lot of pressure from the Dragonfall deck. Here's some Dragon Fodder. Very flavorfully named card here because these goblins are literally meant to feed dragons. If Card's deck works as intended.
That's true. Yeah. Could this be the moment that we see it all? That we see it all happen?
I mean, if we get to that point, I don't think there's much Ben can do. Oh wait, sorry. Ben still has 4 flash freezes in his sideboard.
But we are now at the part of the game where Ben's deck does shine. We have 3 mana, and we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, just steadily building mana.
And it turns out what we want right now is to attack with a treetop village for 4.
Yeah, I mean, that works.
You wonder a little bit. I mean, that's maybe not the ideal play for Ben on 3 mana. He may have a game plan that is about getting this damage in with treetop while he can. Uh, but to me, it kind of says I don't have a better play this turn. Now, I think maybe what's happening is many of his morphs come online with 2 extra mana, so just waiting until you can get that morph value might be.
Yeah,
But with an empty graveyard, also Den Protector
not looking so hot.
yeah. But even as a 3/2, against a field of goblins, you can do worse. So let's see. We'll see if something else comes down to stop this goblin army. But in the meantime, the treetop village is trading blow for blow, as we saw in our last match, just 4 damage at a time coming through.
Yeah, but Ben is winning the race as things stand right now, and if he has flash freeze up and can just steadily keep this going, then yeah, that will do the trick.
Yeah, not far away from being able to either activate 2 treetops or activate 1 on attacks and 1 on defense either. Another noble hierarch means now treetop is even bigger. And with that extra planes, we do have the option to block with the treetop if we so desire.
Yeah.
That'll depend, of course, on the contents of Ben's hand. He may just want to signal that flash freeze whether or not he actually has it.
Yeah, so what can happen this turn is Kord can tap out for a spell that Ben then flash freezes, and then he has lethal on the swing back. We're just gonna see the little ape that could.
That is a good one.
I swear to God, I'm not staging this. This is not. There's no foul play here. We haven't pre-recorded this. Yeah, and Kord has to accept that attacking might not be the best course of action right now.
Yep, and so now goblins are going to eat it to a treetop village.
Yep, and I think we'll just see 1 treetop village attack.
Well, you want those exalted triggers so that you're not trading. There's no good blocks here if you attack with just 1. I don't think you need the game to end this turn.
Oh, you could just wait 1 turn.
Gosh, and whatever that morph is, it's great, right? I mean, if it's a Den Protector, that's another flash freeze. If it's not a Den Protector, and that's a really clever attack there as well.
I love
to
that.
just attack with the birds. Ben showing why he's one of the best players and sitting here in our finals.
Yeah.
Or semifinals.
He's just closing door after door.
That is a strong play here, threatening to make all of these goblins bigger and attack for 2 a piece. Ben deciding how to react to this, and we are going to see the flash freeze come out to stop Nissa. I think that makes sense, and that ends the game in Ben's favor. It looks like we do have another game to play here, though. So we'll be going to the rubber match.
Yeah, we will have a game 3 coming up. So that's the second game Ben has dropped this tournament.
Very embarrassing.
Yeah, absolutely atrocious performance. No, seriously. Man has played 4 unblemished rounds of Swiss, then drops a game in the final rounds of Swiss, having his top 4 all but locked up, and then dropping game 1 of his semi-final against the deck that's. I have a tough time gauging how well it matches matches up versus the band deck. I think it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, and then this Dragonfall deck is really good. But if it draws all of column A or all of column B, then it looks very anemic.
Yeah, that's often the way that things go with ramp decks. You need to draw your spells in a certain order, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious to see. Um, I'm curious to hear if this Descent of Dragons has been cast yet in this event,
yeah. Um,
and how many matches did it remain in the deck?
yeah, that's hard to because it could be great, could also be yeah, just a blank piece of cardboard depending on how the game goes. I think in this matchup it's actually super great because if he gets to pull that off, then yeah, everything just goes nuts.
Ideal start for Ben here, leading off with the Birds of Paradise, trying to get to that 3 mana spot as quickly as possible, stop any shenanigans, but Grand Coliseum does mean taking a turn off here.
Yeah, and I think as we saw the last game, Ben do not mind taking it slow and just quietly exhausting uh, the opportunities card have to pull ahead.
One of the things that ramp decks run into is that because you're building up and putting a lot of energy into casting one or two really big spells, you do end up being more vulnerable to counter magic and things like flash freeze. So been able to take it slow, knowing that when those counter spells go off, they're going to go off at +4, +5 mana.
Yeah, and Ben is just so happy to just wait and draw it out. As you said, if he trades 1 for 1, then card has cards. It doesn't really do much. This is an interesting one. Troll
Yeah,
Aesthetic.
Troll Aesthetic is a strong card. You know, Hexproof and Regenerate. His stats in Modern Magic are not that impressive, but compared to a lot of what we see in this field, Troll Aesthetic's been a pretty powerful card. In my testing, you know, it used to be that you would just put a Loxodon Warhammer or an Armadillo Cloak on one of these guys, and that would be all you needed to do.
Yeah, that would be. And here we see why Ben wanted to just not do anything, not do anything. Jump, Dragon
Yeah.
Lord Oil.
We see Ben cast his version of Collected Company here.
Yes, and that's actually so much closer to the truth than one would believe. Uh, this is why Ben is not playing Collected Company.
Yep.
He there's already the tension between all the morphs and Collected Company where you kind of don't want to hit your morphs on Collected Company. Uh, and then you also get the opportunity to play Dragonlord Oyota if you don't play Company. So all that tension just left Ben with choosing to do something else, and it's working out quite well for him.
And with Ben's strategy of leaving mana open on his turn, this Dragonlord Ojutai looks a lot better because when you do tap out for it, uh, there's nothing your opponent can really do in this format, and then you're free to untap and protect it as long as you need to
Yeah,
with your
exactly.
flash freezes and your negates and your Stratus Dancers and eventually your Den Protectors.
Yep. This is exactly how Ben drew it up, and
Yeah,
also
and
if
passing the turn with 6 mana open is really a sign of strength here, I think.
he, it is not because he has nothing to do. This is just because he is deciding what can happen. Um, and I want to touch upon that as well because you wouldn't be able to play this amount of permission if you're also playing Clay Company. You if you start with Clay Company, you do have a lot of deck building restraints you just have to comply with. Whereas Ben has had more freedom in tweaking things, and he doesn't have to be mindful how many counter spells he put in his sideboard. He can just put in what he feels his deck needs.
Yeah, and when so much of your value is coming from unmorphing, Collective Company is also a lot less impressive, right? Because you're putting a 2/1 Den Protector into play instead of a face down Den Protector that does something.
Yeah, exactly. No one is playing Den Protector to just cast it on the regular.
You say that, but I have played against an Anafenza deck over the last week that was very aggressive with its Noble Hierarch Anafenza Den Protecting.
Sure, sure.
Reflector Mage. Gonna
Getting rid
clear out of
of that.
that bird so Dragon Lord Digitai can continue to draw cards and accumulate value. And also, by the way, threaten lethal because that bird's will not be blocking while it's relevant.
Yep. Korath is
I would say on the back foot,
between,
certainly.
yeah, between a rock and a hard place. I think the best thing I can have. Oh, yeah, it's just GG's. Scoop them up. Thank you
And
very
Ben
much.
continues not to drop any matches, still undefeated on the day.